I want to actually understand from all of you that I want to see what are the characteristics of such data. Okay. So before, now these are some equations which are written here. How many people by looking at this slide can understand what I'm talking about? Just tell me yes or no. Avinash says he understands. Rahul says no. Anyone who understands yes, just tell me yes. No, I know. I mean, you will not understand. That's why you are here, right? Sachi says 50%. Okay. Key value, I understood. Hash map, hash table says Vinod. Parthivan says no. So anyone who doesn't understand, no need to write anything. Vamsi says functional programming. Okay. Key value is the key for MapReduce. Okay. Ashish says functional programming there. Okay. Now guys, one thing which is very clear from the data set which we saw, and it will become much more clearer as we see more data sets, that what we were looking at are key values. Okay, right? Where key is the year and temperature is the value. And we need a programming model which can handle this very well, right? So that programming model is called MapReduce. But before we get to those terms, jargon, map and reduce, don't have to worry about that. Let me tell you what do we need to do first. Now the first thing which we need to do is extract key values from that data which we had, right? And create key values, which means that if some year comes, some temperature comes, year temperature, that year may come multiple times, the temperature may come multiple times. So remove all the things which do not form, which are not required from that data, come up with a key value pairs, right? Which is a key and a value pair, right here, K1, V1, right? Do not worry if these equations are not making things very clear to you. I'll just show you an example as well. Let's try to understand with the equation and then we'll go to the example, right? Now, next thing which we need to do is actually do a sort. Yes, we will. Vamsi, we'll go to that. We will exactly. Yes, key is always unique in nature. Now, let me tell you how we're going to proceed with this class. Okay. Now, right now we'll see this. Then we will go back to our example which we saw. We'll write a program, a MapReduce program to actually take out those things which we talked about. Okay. Okay. So is that clear, guys? So just give me 1 second. I want you to actually look at this. I'll explain what is this list K2 V2, what is this K2 and list V2, and what is list K3 V3. Okay. So these are the 4 steps which we have, and I will just explain it. I want you to actually just keep this in your mind. Okay. Okay. So now let's look at that example once again, and then I'll show you what are we actually going to do here, and how we'll come back to this slide once again. Okay. For now, you can understand that initially what we do from that data is extract key and value pairs. So these will be these key and value pairs. Then what we're going to do is we are going to create a list, okay, which will have the key and the value list, okay, which will show me that for each key, if there is a repetition of that value, we'll get those values here. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay. Then we are basically based on sorting and grouping them together. Okay. Now next thing which you're going to do is we will use a function which will do the actual thing which we want to do. If you want to do a max, if you want to do a sum, and those things we will do, and then finally we'll come up with again a key value pair. Okay. So now this is some. Okay, Dipankar is asking question, list K2 V2, grouping is from key within map. Yes. So now, okay, now Dipankar, that's a question which I'm not going to answer now. I am just trying to confuse everyone right now. Okay, so that they have this thing in their mind, because this is something which they'll have to see all the time. I want them to become familiar with this term. So this is how it will be written in every book. I'll explain with an example. So within 15-20 minutes, this will become crystal clear. Okay. Sometimes it is good to have chaos. Okay. So now I'll repeat this once again. What I'm saying here is that initially we'll extract key and value pairs, okay, from the list. Key and value pairs. Okay. Just understand these are key and value pairs. Now we are going to create a list, a key and a list of values out of that. So key and a list of values will be created out of that. Okay. Now this will be done obviously by doing some kind of sorting and grouping from this key value pairs. Okay. So that's the second thing which we do. Then we use this list, which was the key and a value list, and do some, just a minute Vamsi, it will be clear, okay, and then do some manipulation or some calculation on this thing to get another key value pairs. Okay, now when I'm saying all this, I know it is not clear to anyone, okay, but I still want you to remember these terms. Now as we move on to the next slides and as we look at the examples, it will become very clear. Okay, so let's move on. No need to stop here. Ashish, all those things will be answered here. Okay. Yes. So Sriram is saying, so say I have this question I'm going to answer. Sriram is saying I have a location in each file and temperature for day in each file. Key is location and temperature is value. Right. That can be one of the key value. Right. That's right. So this level of questions I'm going to answer. I'm not going to answer output of map and input of reduce is different. I am not going to answer this question list K2 V2 grouping for a key within a mapper output. So all these questions I'm going to answer a little later. Okay, Dipankar and Vamsi and Ashish, just give me some time. Okay, how it's going to split in this case is also something which I'm just going to tell you, Ashish. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. Okay, let's move ahead. And there is one you'll very soon understand why I have created all this confusion in your minds. Okay, so very important to create chaos first and then figure out if it is clear or not, right? Otherwise it will become very simple and you will go back thinking that you have learned everything. Okay, I don't want you to do that. Okay. Let's take this example. Now it will become very clear. Okay. So look at this example, guys. This is your input. Now you remember I put this key value here, right? So this is the splitting. Okay. So you've created all these, you have split those records as deer, beer, river, car, river, deer, car, river, bear. Okay. Then what you do, in this you say deer comes once, bear comes once, river comes once. Okay, so this is that list with the mapping which we are talking about. Don't worry about these terms which are there at the top. You will these shuffling, reducing, finalizing, all these things, terminology will become very clear very soon. Okay. Now what we do here is, okay, so Raghu, Hadoop will do it. Hadoop will do the splitting. Okay. You can configure how big split and all those things are possible, but Hadoop will do the splitting. Now, okay, so now does everyone understand this part? Till now everyone is clear what I'm talking about? This list K2 V2 is clear to everyone? First we created these key values here, K1 V1 values. Yes. Yes, Avinash. Okay, yeah, so now, okay, so Rajat is asking me why everywhere value is 1. Okay, it is 1 because in this case, in this particular record, deer came once, bear came once, river came once. If it was like deer, bear and river, okay, then it will be twice here. Is that clear, guys? No, it will, yeah, so it will come twice, but not, number 2 will not come here. Okay, it will come like deer 1, another deer 1, something like this. You look at this one, right? This example, can you see? Yes. Car is coming twice, yes. So this is how it will be done. There is no calculation happening here. Yeah, like car. Okay. Now the first thing which you do is you just thanks Ravi. Thanks. Ravi says very concise diagram and clear diagram. Honestly, very good. Okay. Yeah, Dhananjay, just wait on. Wait for some time. Okay. Wait for some time. All these things will become very. I have not reached that stage till now. Okay. Now, this is the key. This is the value. Right. So what we have done till now. Okay. What we have done till now is that deer is the key. 1 is the value. Bear is the key. 1 is the value. River is the key. 1 is the value. In this record, car is the key, 1 is the value. Another time car comes, I write once again. Okay. right? And then we write deer, car, bear as values here. Okay. Now what we do some, now one thing which is important to do is, it will be good if we could do some shuffling and get these things like this. So wherever bear is coming, we'll take all those records and put them together. Okay, that's called shuffling. Okay, obviously you'll call it shuffling only. Okay, and you'll group them together. Okay, so you'll have, now what you have is, you have bear and that comes 1 1. You can look at it this way also. You can also write this as, let me just open a notepad. Some people who already know MapReduce will ask me, why are you not writing it in the traditional way? So let me just quickly open notepad and show you how it can also be represented. So it can also be represented as, okay, forgive me for these parentheses and brackets. Okay, I'm just taking a liberty here. Okay, so this part which is written here can also be represented as this. Okay, so this is grouping of similar items together and putting a value for those. Exactly. Right? So that's what Vamsi has told me. This is what we'll probably end up doing at this stage. Okay, is that clear, guys? Yes, Rajat, Hadoop does this for you. Okay, I have not yet reached Hadoop. Okay, so guys, I have not yet reached Hadoop. So please do not ask me questions on Hadoop till now. Okay, I'm just telling you a process which is slightly different than the earlier process. Okay, which we used, right? And then we'll see how Hadoop is doing that. Okay, Rajat, is that fine with you? Rajat, I mean Rajat Rastogi. Okay, great. So now this is what we'll get on this point. Okay, so for car, now Sachi is asking me a good question. How will write for car? So for car, I'll write like this. Okay, is that clear now? Everyone? Okay, for deer it will be same as deer. So any number of, so this is the thing which we talked about when we were on the last slide. Let me go back to the last slide and see if things are, the thing which was looking very difficult, mathematical kind of equation where I confused you, whether it is looking better now or not. Okay. Shall I go back to the last slide? Guys, if you don't mind, and I'll come back to this one once again. Let's see if we've understood something on the lab. Ashish, I'll not answer that question right now. Okay. Ashish is asking, why have we not done reducing in the mapping phase? Does anyone want to know this answer now? Other than Ashish? Okay, everyone is saying no. And some people are giving you a big no also, Ashish. Okay, so just, unfortunately, this is a group of people. Okay, so I'll have to respect. Okay, yeah. So don't worry, Ashish, but I assure you this will be answered today only. Okay, is that fine, Ashish? Not now. I have not got an answer from Ashish on that. Okay, thanks. Ashish has given me a smiley. So thank you, guys. And you have all the right to stop me from diverting from the topic. Okay. Okay, now we have a lot of questions. Let me read through those questions and I'll see whatever I want to answer now. Okay, so Dipankar says because value of same key may be in different split, right? That's very much possible and that's why we have done this shuffling here, right? No, don't worry about Java list or not. This is not a Java list. This is just a representation here, Ramesh, where we say that this is a list of K2 and V2. So here is the list, right? K2 and V2 are the, so Ramesh is asking me, I did not understand list K2, V2, which means he did not understand. Now these are key values. That is clear to everyone. This is a list of key values. This is also clear to everyone, right? Right? And if I represent this part as what I showed on notepad, then this is a key and a list, isn't it? Is that clear to everyone? Yeah, sorry, Vamsi, actually it is written as bear and I pronounce it as beer because that's what I like better. Okay, so Vamsi is asking me, he's trying to pull my leg as well. He's trying to ask me, is it a beer or a bear? So it's a bear, but I like beer better. So okay, okay. Okay. Now let me explain you what are these terms. Okay. Now everyone knows that this part which I have written here is a key and a value. These are key and values, right? These are simple values. There is no list associated here, right? This is just a record, which is there's no list. Everyone, yes or no? Quickly. Okay. Great. Now let's come to this. Now is this a list? Vamsi, you can represent anything as key and anything as value. I don't mind that. Okay. Okay, you can say anything as key, anything as value. These are, if this is a key, these can be values also. Who knows, right? It's only after doing something which we'll come to know. But right now, look at it as a single record which has some values. Okay. Now this is a list. Everyone understands that, which has key and a value. Yes, from that context, Vamsi, that was not a key and value pair, right? Fine. But this is a list. Everyone agrees with. When I say list of key and values, right? So deer, bear, river, beer. Right? Right? So this is a list, everyone agrees to that. Now, when I say that this is a key and a list of values, this picture may not represent that very well, right? So that's why I've written this. So this is where I say K2 and list V2. Is that clear? Everyone has got it now? The reason why I opened Notepad, I could have done it here also. Great, right? So this is a list V2 now. Great. So everyone is saying more clear now. Thank you, Rajat. Okay, Dilip is also giving me a smiley. I think even in the slides also it can be represented as, yes, it can be, but it can be represented there. But what happens is then people will not understand this process of shuffling, right? So there can be one more thing, then it will add, some people will ask me what is this process called. Okay, so in the slide I think this is okay because we want to actually put them together, right? And I will use this notepad to tell you that how is this a list value. Yes, Tushar, what you are saying is right. It's not really a list. No, Tushar, what you are saying is not right because this is not really a list. Now it is, when I write it this way, it is not a list, right? This is one part, this is another part, okay, and say a river, and don't quote me whether I'm using the correct values or not. So if river comes here, then this is another part. So basically, this is not, now Tushar is asking me, is this a list? This is what Tushar is asking me. Okay. Thanks. Parthivan says awesome explanation for MapReduce process. Okay. So before Parthivan, thank you very much. I really appreciate your words here. But just give me 5 minutes. I want to make sure that everyone has understood it, right? So great. So now this is not really this because this list will not be there. These will be only this part. Okay. So we'll have these as separate things. Okay. Now, when we get to the next process, what we wanted to do? We wanted to do how many bears were there. Okay. Now, I also wanted to count how many cars were there. Okay. So what I do, I'll take this part, okay, and use a transformation here. That transformation could be key some function on this value list. Right? Is that clear to everyone, guys? So now this function could be a max function. This function could be a summation function or whatever. This is the process where I'll do the actual work, right? Okay. And this is where I'll find, if this is summation, then I'll find out this here. Okay. Is that clear, guys? Everyone is clear up to this point? This function which I've highlighted here. Can I get a round of smileys if everyone is happy with this explanation? Okay, great. Is there anyone who has not understood it? Because see, I'll tell you one thing, there will be many people who would have actually looked at MapReduce, they would have looked at YouTube videos, they would have tried everything. Still, they would not be very clear. So I want you to be very clear about after this class. Everyone should be very clear about this, right? Yes, in this context, Tushar, it is sum. The function is sum. It could be max, it could be anything. I mean, you may write any function on earth here which can do something with this value list. Okay. And finally create what? Out of this function value list, what will you get? You'll get again a key and a value. Right? If it is a max, you will get the max value here. If it is the sum, you will get the sum. If it is a mean, you will get the mean. Right? Is it clear, everyone? So this will be the output of this process. Okay? And then finally, what we're going to do is create this, which will be the list. This will be the final list. This will be a list of these K3s and V3s. Right? So this is K3 and V3. Right? So let me write those numbers here, K3 and V3. And let me write this K2 and list V2 so that everything becomes very clear to everyone. And let me write just before this where we started. So we started with what? We started with K1, V1, then we went on to create a list of K2, V2, right? Then we went on to create K2 and list of V2, and then we wrote a function here. Finally we got this, and then we got a list K3, V3. Is this process clear to everyone? Anyone in this class who is not very clear about this process, quickly tell me. If everyone is clear, I can get a quick round of smileys for this. Pankar, you were telling me. Okay. Okay. So Sachi is telling me, let me fill gasoline for your Lamborghini. Buy a smiley. Thanks, Sachi. Thank you very much. I hope that Edureka gives me enough money to buy a Maruti 800. I don't dream about Lamborghini. Okay. Yeah. I'm a very poor guy. I was a failure in college and I'm a failure still in my life. Okay. And old as well. So Lamborghini is something which I don't dream anymore. Okay. Great. So thank you very much. Okay. So Dipankar is saying I will contribute. Okay, so Vamsi is telling me, then you are the next guy like Siri Johnson. Don't do that, Vamsi, to me, man. Okay, so guys, okay, now let's come back to this. Thanks for all the comments. Okay, I have already contributed by paying my fee. Thank you very much. I am really thankful to Avinash for paying that huge amount of fees which you have paid for this class. Okay, my children will be really thankful to you throughout their ages, because this is because of your fees that they'll get some roti today. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone who has paid fees for this class. Okay. And I hope that Edureka pays me a part of that. Okay. But yeah, coming back to this. Now everyone has understood this part. Okay. Yes, I'm getting a lot of yeses now. Let's go back to the previous slide where all of you got confused. Yeah. So is it making sense now, guys? Whatever I showed you here? Quickly, yes. Everyone has understood what is MapReduce? Okay. So everyone is saying this slide is clear now. So now, do you think it was a good idea to create that chaos in your mind then? To make sure that you don't understand anything and then you understand? Avinash? Okay. Any formal definition, can you put in one line any formal definition? I know you don't like definitions, chaos theory, pattern in randomness. I'll let my friend Rajat Behra, who is a PMP, give me a definition for this. I don't know any definition here. So frankly speaking, I have never understood these definitions. So I'll not be able to give you a definition. I've explained it to you, right? Why do you need a definition? If someone asks you in an interview, define MapReduce, tell them that I'm not going to define it. I'll going to show you what it is. Ask them the definition. Okay, no one is going to define you that. Vamsi, don't worry. I will send you. No, I know. So in the interview you can explain this. I'll send you a formal definition also. Okay. I know. In interviews you will be asked such crap questions. Define MapReduce. Okay. Okay. So Rajat is giving me the answer: combination of two words, map and reduce. Okay. Yeah, that's the PMP definition of a manager for MapReduce, and that's really true, right? I mean, it's a combination of map and reduce. Okay. Now, what is map and what reduce? Get to the definition there. Then they'll ask you what. Okay. Okay. Dilip has given very good. Dilip, my friend, has helped you. You should say thanks to Dilip, and you can be angry at me. Dilip said it's a programming model and process for processing large data sets on cluster computers. Great, clusters of computers. Dipankar says determining logical unit of data, grouping them together and performing some operation on it. Okay, guys, is that clear? Is this Dipankar? Let's go back to our example slide and see, is this what we were doing? Thank you, Dipankar, for that definition. So Dipankar says, Vamsi, you can note down this definition. Okay, I can also copy and paste and send it to you. Okay, determining logical unit of data, grouping them together and performing some operation.